So I'm about to work out. So I'm at the gym. So if you hear any surrounding noise, that's why. Miss Andress says, I met a random man in the woods once. I was 11, walking with my best friend. A guy around 25 was standing by a tree. Even at 11, we knew to avoid strange men. We took the path furthest from him. He saw us and yelled, Hey, you're fine AF. Want to make out? I said no. She says, he pulled out what looked like a pew-pew. We started to run. He yelled, Stuck up, B. I felt a stinging pain in my butt cheek. He shot me with a BB pew-pew in my butt. Just one reason I'd choose the bear. So she made this tweet and it got people talking. And women started talking about the time when they were children, when men were inappropriate to them. And we're starting this discussion, we're having this discussion, and the bear conversation weaves into it because so many women choose the bear because of the inappropriate behaviors that they have witnessed from non-bears. These non-bears have been so egregious and aggressive that it makes the bears the reasonable choice. All right, so what I also want you to do is observe the profile pictures because, a lot of times, especially since the majority of my network is Black, we think that only Black women are saying these things. No, across the board, women are choosing the bear for whatever reason. Andrea says, I totally believe it. I had an old man come up to my cousin and me at a park during the summer when we were about 8. He wanted to know if the local pool would let him swim naked. I looked down and he was not fully in his shorts. My cousin didn't notice, but I got out of there so fast. And then we got Yomo telling Miss Andress how to cope with her trauma of dealing with men. He says, that's absolutely horrifying, but making hating men so integral to your identity because of it, that you name yourself Missy Andress, doesn't seem like a healthy or productive way to cope or heal. If it's a joke, it's not terribly funny either. And she responds with, they're always drawn to the name. Misogynist on Twitter gave me this name, and I owned it. Misandry isn't real. Don't worry. And then Yomo says, that makes sense. I'm glad to hear the name isn't for the reasons I'd assume. Misandry is real, but it doesn't excuse or detract from the problem of misogyny on any level. Misandry is a reaction to misogyny. Misandry hurts men's feelings. Misogyny harms girls and unalives girls and women because of men's sexist beliefs that they are entitled to women and can do whatever they want to. Misandry might be real, but it does not impact men the same way because misandrists typically want to get away from men. Misogynists want to or do harm women and girls. Jen says, I was 11 and out at a restaurant with my family. The waiter was blatantly hitting on me and my father was like, buddy, she's 11 years old. I'm going to need you to send someone else over here or there's going to be a problem. That's gross and that's bold. And like Ginger Nikki says, the fact that he would do that in front of your family makes me extremely concerned about what he would do if a little girl was alone with him. Phyllis says, I believe you and I'm sorry that happened to you and your friend. In grade school, a man on a bike started following me home from school almost every day. He'd ask, where do you live? Can I have a kiss? Ignoring him didn't stop it. She continues with, I tried a different school exit and route trying to avoid him. My mother asked why I was home late and started meeting me after school. It didn't occur to me to complain. Men in cars had been offering rides to my friends and me from ages 9 and 10. Keep in mind that we have kind of normalized this creepy behavior to the point where sometimes it does not ring alarm bells. And this should be alarming. We should be telling our daughters that this is alarming. She continues with, it happened so often that we gave 2 regulars nicknames. 2 men in a convertible, probably in their 30s or 40s, were Smiley and Beard. It makes me mad now and think we were lucky they didn't hear us laugh at them. That was just a life as a girl, a grade school girl. This person says, I'm in Scotland and I remember being lunged at by a tall, fat, bearded man when I was only 12. I screamed and ran towards a phone box where my mother was calling her sister. FBM and his friend laughed. Oh, that's fat, bearded man. And his friend laughed. Leanne says, when I was 12, I used to go ice skating every Friday. A guard at the rink who was 18 years old skated up to me and whispered lewd suggestions in my ear. I never went back. Not as bad as what you experienced, but these things are impactful. We do not have to downplay our experiences because someone else experienced something terrible. What you experienced was triggering, it was harmful and inappropriate. So you can own that without being, I know your stuff is worse. We already did Andrea. St. Vincent Welch says, an experience every woman relates to. Thanks for sharing. Being preyed upon at every age, anywhere by men. And I can say that as well. I am a curvy girl, a curvy woman, and I was a curvy girl growing up. I certainly had my fair share of inappropriate behavior from men. Belle at the bottom says, though, a bear would never do that because a bear is not catcalling us. Grace says, I'm so sorry and I wish I was surprised. All of the evidence is that girls start to experience serious sexual harassment from men in public between the ages of around 10 and 13. Although for some it's earlier, it's not an accident. That's when we're on the cusp of puberty. Kelly says, coming off a trailhead, 2 guys in a van told me they wanted to have sex with me. My dog got aggressive with them and they left. 3 times I've encountered bears while on a hike. Nothing. The bears barely acknowledged me. We just went about our business. Inhale, exhale says, horrible. We were chased by a group of older teens, went out to eat after a middle school dance. It was cold and icy out. They were yelling, grape them. It was terrifying. We scattered and knocked on an apartment door for help. One friend made it to a grocery store to call for help. And understand that this keeps going. People were, quote, retweeting and adding their own words. This person says, I was 6 the first time I was SA'd by a white male judge neighbor. I was 8 when a white male father of a friend SA'd me at her slumber party. Men are way more evil than bears. There were so many notifications. There were a lot of these stories. And there's no need to go through all of these stories because most of us women know and understand. But the men want to jump in the comments acting obtuse. So Miss Andress says, it's hard to keep up with the notifications on this post, but to all the ladies sharing their equally terrifying stories, I see you, and I'm so sorry that these things are horrifically common. To the men calling me a liar, know that I couldn't care less and didn't write this for you. Please know and understand that this is the reason why even inviting them into our spaces, most of the time they don't listen to our experiences and care. They don't. They don't care about our experiences, but they know that that other men are dangerous. They know, and they will say things to us if they're a dad, if they're an uncle, if they're a big brother. They say, watch out for these men. But when women repeat that, because we also know, then we get accused of being misandrous. Women are literally trying to survive. Men are literally trying to protect their reputation, which we all know they shouldn't even have a good reputation as a collective. And if men addressed the violence issue, it would only help them as well because men are impacted by the violence of other men as well. Y'all jump in the comments. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.